Over the last 7 or 8 years, I've coached hundreds of high-performing business leaders and entrepreneurs, and I have found, Alex, that there are 3 areas to really focus on to move your life forward in that direction that most people want to move, which is really being the best version of you. So the first area is an area that I call consciousness, and a lot of people think of it as mindset. I think it's actually a state of being, consciousness, and it involves having a growth mindset. It also involves having clarity and intention.
Hey guys, welcome back to the BAD Academy podcast. I'm your host, Alex Thorick, and today I'm excited to interview a very interesting guest, someone who I met at the event in Las Vegas back in December. I want to introduce Craig Bruce, who is a former partner in a global management consulting firm for 25 years and managed a line of business across 10 countries in Latin America, while based in Sao Paulo, Mexico City, and Miami, growing that business tenfold over 10 years. He is also an international speaker and has shared the stage with Sharon Letcher, Les Brown, Bill Walsh, James Dentley, and Noah Lee. He has partnered with hundreds of high-performing business leaders and entrepreneurs to ignite you so that you can achieve even more in your life, relationships, and career. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Alex, welcome. It's great to see you again. I'm so glad that we are finally connecting.
Yeah, it's been a while. We wanted to do it back then, a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's everything?
Good. So life is good. I can't believe we're in almost mid-February.
Time flies.
Where's time flies, but it's all good.
It is, yeah. Well, so before we'll dive into all the questions that I want to ask you, I would like you to share how did you start your entrepreneurial journey, and especially on the health side of things? What was the trigger for you?
Yeah. So for Alex, for 25 plus years, I lived this life of a busy global executive, 2.5 million miles on one airline and 1 million miles on another. And I bragged about that. I was so proud of that. And it was all good and great until it wasn't. And as I look back now, I was living, but I truly wasn't alive. And it all came to a pivotal point when one night I'm boarding my return flight home from a business meeting, and it had already been a 15-hour day, and I was pretty sick. But you know what? We're high achievers, so we got the meeting done, all right? And I take my window seat, and the flight attendant approaches me. And I thought she was going to ask me what I wanted to drink. And instead, she leaned over and said to me, "You look horrible." And in that moment, I turned and looked at and saw my reflection in the mirror, in the tiny window, airplane window, and tears just started welling up. And I'm like, "Craig, you're a grown man crying in public. Stop it. Your life sucks." But Alex, to everybody else, it appeared like I was killing it. But truth was, I was really killing myself. So much so that the next day I landed in my doctor's office and she ordered bed rest. But Alex, do you know what my version of bed rest was?
What?
It was my laptop, my cell phone, and conference calls from my bed. And so it was in that moment that I knew something had to change. And that was the pivotal moment. And I knew what had to change was that I had to become an advocate for my own health and well-being. And so then I went on this 5-year journey researching, going back to school, researching science-based solutions for the mind and body. And all my research became best practices that, one, I used on myself and continue to do today, and also use with my clients.
Yeah, it's so important to take care of yourself, and I guess today we live in a super fast-paced world,
Yeah.
and we growing up, I guess I had this dream of being doing great things, and we all want to be our best.
Yeah.
And as you said, on the outside, it looked like you're killing it, but then
Yeah.
you're killing yourself, right? And then here at Building Income on Demand, our motto is hustle less, earn more. Because what
I love that.
we've noticed that, so let's say working in the marketing world, helping local businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, with their marketing, with their digital marketing, we noticed that, I mean, being a business owner, it takes a lot of energy,
Yeah.
a lot of everything, I should say. And let's say in case with marketing, you can, especially in today's world, you can set up systems once and let them run for you. And then for some reason, people like to hustle, and these days we have that hustle culture.
Yeah.
And I understand the hustle culture. I'm not 100% against it. I
Uh-huh.
understand, let's say, maybe hustling for 90 days,
Yeah.
going, having that focus for the next 90 days or the next 30 days, 60 or 90 days, and then maybe take a break from that and take care of yourself. But then people jump into that hustle, and I guess they just do it nonstop.
Yeah. Well, and I love your motto, hustle less, earn more. I mean, wow. Um,
Thank you.
what I find is that with business owners is that particularly entrepreneurs, right, we love what we do. And most of us are motivated for a bigger reason than just money. And so what I find is that work doesn't seem like work because
Pretty
when you
much.
love what you do, time just flies, time just passes. And like I know I can work a 10, 12-hour day now, and it seems like I've only been working 2 or 3 hours. And there's some positive aspects to that, but then there's also some aspects where you got to take a break. You got to take care of yourself. And I'm not saying don't hustle. I'm not saying you have to jump off of that proverbial hamster wheel that we all feel like we're on today. What I'm saying is take care of yourself and continue to work hard. And those two are not mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, I also wanted to ask you, so I was reading that you were the performance and lifestyle coach at Economic Sport Club,
Yeah.
and you also got the award Mentor of the Year. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I had after I went back to school to become a health and lifestyle coach trainer, I started to work for an amazing organization, Equinox. And
Equinox.
it was an organization that I had actually been a member of for 15 years. I left Chicago because I couldn't take the cold winters anymore and moved to Los Angeles.
Tell me more about it.
I know. You're in Montreal, right? I don't know how you do it, my friend.
It's
And
cold.
yeah, it is cold. It is cold. I can't take it anymore. And I started to work for Equinox Sports Club in Los Angeles, one of their premier clubs, and did really well there. I was blessed because the population of that club was slightly older, and I had the opportunity to work with people like me, executives who were high performers and really wanted to continue to take care of themselves. And so that's where I learned a lot of my science-based health coaching. And then with regard to the mentor of the year, one of my superpowers is that I'm very strong in building long-term relationships and coaching. And I absolutely love that. And I was fortunate enough to be able to bring on new trainers and orient them and coach them to success. And it was an honor to get that award one year.
Wow, that's amazing. Again, congrats on that.
Thanks.
So you mentioned that you work with executives. What should be the first step for people to get their life back
Yeah.
especially after being burned out, because people get burned out and then
Yeah.
they think, well, I'll just take a vacation, I'll take 2 weeks off,
Yeah.
and then I'll get back to work, and that should do it. Does it really help?
Well, so yes, it does. I think that's like putting a Band-Aid on the situation. Over the last 7 or 8 years, I've coached hundreds of high-performing business leaders and entrepreneurs, and I have found, Alex, that there are three areas to really focus on to move your life forward in that direction that most people want to move, which is really being the best version of you.
Mm-hmm.
And would it be okay if I shared those three
Yeah,
areas?
of course, of course. I would love to hear
So the first area is an area that I call consciousness, and a lot of people think of it as mindset. I think it's actually a state of being, consciousness, and it involves having a growth mindset. It also involves having clarity and intention, clarity, and then also third thing it involves is intention. So the conversations that I have with clients is, who do you want to be and how do you want to show up every day? Because we know you are extremely successful, and you can have in business, and you can have even more success there and find some harmony in the other aspects of your life. So you're taking care of yourself and the relationships that you're involved in. So it really starts there with, who do you want to be and how do you want to show up every day?
Interesting. So, what do you think about the work-life balance? Is it because some people portray it as I believe in it. There should be a balance between work and life.
Yeah.
And then some people say, well, when you're at work, you just work, you focus on that, and then when you come home, you focus on your family, and then or whatever you
Yeah.
do when you're home.
Yeah. So I don't believe that work-life balance is possible. I believe that it's all about harmony. So if you think about your life and the major spheres of influence that you have, there are three of them. You have control or influence over yourself. The second sphere that you have control, influence, possibly even no influence, are relationships that you're involved with. And then the third is your career. And when I ask these business leaders, when we first start working together, to allocate the percent of time that they're spending in each one of those spheres, guess which sphere they're spending the most time in?
Most likely work.
Career. And that's a bit of an awakening for people, and most people. So the point here is that I think it's more about harmony. And if you think about life as a spider web
Hmm.
rather than a balance, so in a spider web, there are going to be times when one piece of that spider web is going to get pulled. Maybe that's your career, and it gets pulled for a period of time, but then we want it to come back into harmony. And then there may be times when there's a relationship or relationships that are pulling that spider web. So that's the way I look at it.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, as you just mentioned, spider and the pulling, I started thinking about this. Is it called the Wheel of Life?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
so that's
Right. And so if you were to dissect those three spheres that I just described, you would end up with a wheel of life. But for me, all of those little pieces of the wheel of life roll up into those three major spheres. So, for example, self. Self is about you. It's about spirit. It's about your spirituality. It's about your health. It's about your wellness, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those pieces of that wheel of life roll up into that. So that first area is consciousness, and that's where most of the time we start. Some people aren't ready to start there. So if they don't start there, then we start with the second area, which is lifestyle. And this is one I know you love. That's really about how you nourish, restore, and move your body. And I work with clients to really develop a morning rituals, evening rituals that are all science-based. So habits like life-changing habits based on science. For example, hydrate before you caffeinate. The first thing you want to do in the morning is drink some water. And you know why, right?
Yeah.
Because we get dehydrated.
Yeah.
But what do most people do? They reach for that coffee. It's the wrong thing to do. Another morning habit that can change your life because it resets your circadian rhythm is get some morning sunlight. Even if you're in Montreal or Chicago in the wintertime, just get some morning light within the first hour. And then the evening ritual, what's so important there is, I would say, the majority of the people, what are they doing at least up until bedtime? They're on their phones.
Pretty much.
They're on their computer.
Netflix.
They're watching TV. That's the absolute wrong thing to do because all of that light sends the signal to your body through your eyes that it's daytime.
Okay, I do have a question about it. Would
Yeah.
the blue light glasses work for that?
Yeah, they do. They do. So if you can't, so the habit that we start with is let's shut down electronics at least 30 minutes. Let's just start with 30 minutes before we go to bed. I will tell you, there are some nights when I need to work and I put on my blue light blocking glasses. Yes, so it does. So that's the lifestyle piece. So we really develop rituals. Some people call them routines. I like to call them rituals because I think rituals is a more powerful word, a more meaningful word, and so so it's how you nourish, restore, and move your body. And with you being a black belt, man, you know the importance of movement, right?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I can't live a day without moving my body pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially because we sit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We sit so much, and a lot of people think they have back issues. They really don't. They have sitting issues. They have hip flexor issues.
Yeah.
That are causing the back issues.
They just need to move more.
And they need to move more and elongate the body. And then the third area is an area that a lot of people are surprised. And the third area is community. And it's the importance of community. It's the importance of identifying what's important to you and then communicating to your tribes, to your people, to the communities that you're involved with and in, what's important to you and how to interact with you so that you don't get derailed on this journey or this adventure that you're on called life, and to ultimately be the best version of you.
Yeah, being the best version of myself. That's what I'm trying to do on a daily basis. I believe in becoming 1% better.
Yeah.
So by the end of the year, I get those 365%.
Yeah, I love it.
In a way, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Well, that's very interesting, and especially the conscious. And I wanted to jump back to the consciousness.
Yeah.
So the conscious mind is what we know, is what we understand, is what we feed it. But there is also the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Does that affect somehow?
Yeah, and so yes, and so that gets into, and I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and I don't play one on Zoom calls. However,
I mean, based on what you've been doing and based on what you know.
Yeah, so it becomes over a series of conversations, people's beliefs begin to come out. And so understanding what those beliefs are, which have been built from years and years and years of interactions with people, and then built into that subconscious mind, there's some reprogramming, right? There's some rethinking of some of those beliefs. And that's why I think it's so important that we get very clear up front who we want to be and how we want to show up every day. and create an I am statement.
For the I am statement, are you referring to the one that you would look at every single morning,
Yeah.
or let's say on a daily basis?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and it's interesting. So I'll give you an example of an I am statement. I have a client who's a female executive, and her I am statement is, I am the CEO of my life, living my life based on the things that are important to me. And I'm paraphrasing: relationships, nature, my health, et cetera, et cetera. And so, again, getting very clear as who's in control and what she values, and looking at that every day as a reminder, and then being able to communicate to others. And also, it helps her prioritize what she's going to do every day.
And then if something happens I guess this is part of what Tony Robbins is talking about, that it's not what happens to you, it's how, um, what does he say? It's not what happens to you, it's how you look at it.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
saying that,
Yeah.
a famous saying that he has.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. Completely. We can't control what is done to us or said to us, but we can control how we respond and react.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
definitely helps. Yeah, when I went into this whole personal development space and industry, and I started reading more and more books and courses and
yeah.
watching videos and getting all this information. And then, as you mentioned, your beliefs starts to shake, and then
Hmm.
you change your beliefs, and then you
Yeah,
change how you look at the world and then what's happening around you.
yeah, yeah. I love that. Absolutely, absolutely. And as high performers, we tend not to stop and pause and think about this stuff.
Yeah, most of the times.
Yeah, most of the time. Yep. And so it's interesting because most of my clients are, um, I guess I would call them more mature from an age perspective. They're over the age of 40, and very successful. They can buy anything they want. They've traveled. They can go anywhere they want. And at some point, they begin to ask the question, well, what about me, or what's next for me? And those are the really rewarding conversations to have.
Yeah, that's what matters the most, pretty
Yeah,
much. I mean, the financial side of things is important,
yeah,
but you need to. I saw this post. Somebody posted recently on social media. I don't remember which platform, uh, but she was talking about financial health, personal health, relationship. You need to have healthy relationships because all of it that creates that wheel as we were talking about earlier.
yeah,
Not necessarily the balance, but that wheel.
yeah, yeah. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And what again, clarity is so important, and taking the time to identify what are your values, and then what are your non-negotiables, and living your life with those values and non-negotiables as filters for all the decisions you make.
Yeah, I remember I was watching this movie, Transporter, with Jason Statham,
Uh-huh.
and he always had his non-negotiables. So when I was growing up, I was watching the movie, I was like, wow, that's so cool. So I started implementing that in my life. And then I started talking to someone, they're like, come on, let's go have a drink, but I was driving. So
Yeah.
it was my non-negotiable. If I drive, I don't drink. Like not
Yeah.
even though we're allowed to have one, let's say, bottle of beer,
Right.
I was like, no, no. Later on, then I'll just slack a little bit here, a little bit there,
Yeah.
but then I went back to my non-negotiables. And
Yeah.
when I was telling people, no, I'm just not doing it, and people
Yeah.
started looking at me uh, more seriously, I guess,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. Um,
I wanted to ask you, so you mentioned the morning routine or the morning ritual, as you said.
yeah.
Um, so some people say it's good to have one. Others are, I'm not going to say against it, but they don't
Yeah.
really see the value in it because
Uh-huh.
everyone lives their, it's pretty much you do you, right? That
Yeah.
everyone lives their
Absolutely.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. what have you noticed in your career and then with your clients? Is there a best way, or let's say the best morning ritual per se?
Yeah, so I would say, so first of all, what the morning ritual does is it sets you up for success throughout your day. And it gives you the opportunity to be intentional. And I have a mentor, his name is Michael Bernard Beckwith. He is the founder of Agape Spiritual Center here in Los Angeles. And he says, with intention, you have design. Without intention, you have default. So
Hmm.
the more, and that's, I love that. That's pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yep.
So we don't, most people don't want to live a life of default. So to answer your question, I have found that morning rituals are best if they are customized to the individual. The morning ritual can actually go through the afternoon if that's what we need. The whole idea is, and at the same time, Alex, there is some science that would suggest hydrate before you, that would really suggest hydrate before you caffeinate, get morning sunlight, and get some movement in order to reset your circadian rhythm, in order to give you more energy, right? That will help set you up. So I think those are some things that are proven and that I build into most of my clients' morning rituals. But then after that, it's very much customized.
Interesting.
And I wonder if the people who prefer not to have a morning ritual might be the more creative types, and they resist structure. I don't know. Most of my clients, I'd say the majority of my clients, like the structure. And here's the other thing is I found that
Oh, structure helps quite a lot.
it does.
It's
And if it's not on their calendar, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I can attest to that. And then it helps you build that discipline because a lot of people
Yeah.
lack discipline these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
May-
and particularly because during the pandemic, and even today, I mean, we were working from home, and you jump out of bed, you put on some sweats, and a nice shirt. You fix your hair a little
Yeah.
bit, you brush your teeth, and you're at the dining room table or in your office, and then at night you jump back in bed. So there was no lines of separation.
Yeah, I couldn't do it for a long time. I remember
Yeah,
when the whole thing started, I was at home maybe for a month and a half or two, and then
yeah,
went back to office. And I was like, I'd rather just be alone in the office, but
yeah,
then I know that I have workspace and then I have home space.
yeah.
Even though I had like a separate room from my bedroom so I could work, but still wasn't the same thing because I knew that at home I have my couch, I have the fridge here, so and there's always like something to do. Like you look at something, you're like, okay, well, yeah, I need to do this.
Yeah, completely, totally.
So that definitely helped me on that
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you as well. So when people start working with you, what does the process look like? How long is
So
it, and what's
yeah,
the
yeah,
transformation that they go through?
yeah. So the transformation. So a lot of what I do is one-on-one coaching. I am one of the things I'm launching in Q1 is a community-based offer, and the transformation that people go through is really around becoming the best version of themselves now. And so that I would say that's the transformation. The results that people get are things like more energy, greater harmony or balance in their life, more control over their day. And here's a big one: freedom to and permission to put yourself first without feeling guilty. All right. And then finally, just, loving who you see in the mirror, whether that's more self-confidence, whether that's body composition changes because we focused on nutrition or we focused on movement more. Those are the results that clients get.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So you mentioned that you're focusing on the community. Do you or you're planning on launching it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you already have a platform for that?
When you
Or
say a
you
platform, do
will
you?
you be, you know how some people do it with the Facebook group and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
others.
Yeah, yeah. So there is right now. So I do have a public Facebook group. It's the Ignite You community, and that's
So if,
growing.
so if people will type the Ignite You
Yeah,
on
Ignite
Facebook.
You, and I'm assuming we can put it in the show notes.
Yep.
Okay, good, good. We can put that in there, and then um, and then and then then I'll be launching a group, more community membership,
Hmm.
and then there's the one-on-one.
Got it. Sweet.
Yeah,
So where else can people find you except the
yeah.
Facebook group?
Well, so the best way. So I'd love to offer your community and your listeners a complimentary gift, if that's appropriate.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
it's my 3 secrets to ignite you and live limitlessly now. Live your best life now. And to get that, if you're in the U.S., you type the word ignite to 26786. Ignite to 26786. People can also just reach me at on my website, evolvehealthandlifestyle.com. Evolvehealthandlifestyle.com.
Perfect. We're gonna add all that in the show notes,
Awesome.
and I'm sure they've heard it as well. And all that will be all over social media,
Cool.
so people can
Good. And
get
then,
in touch with
yeah,
you.
I'll just add, if people want to set up a call, I mean, I would love to have a complimentary Ignite You call. They can type the word call, CALL, to 26786 as well. Call
Okay.
to 26786.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Craig, it was great chatting with you. I learned
Yeah,
quite a bit of things.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
It was a great conversation. I definitely want to bring you back
Yeah,
in, I don't know, maybe in the next 6 months, maybe in the next 12 months. We'll see
yeah, I would
how
love that.
everything goes. Yeah, because everything that we covered today, more and more people need to learn about it. They need to not just learn about it, they need to implement, because most of the times people already know what they need to do, but they still need that. I'm not going to say any bad words per se, but just like, let's say, like I tell people, you need to get a coach, whether it's for your business, whether it's for you personally. I mean, as we were talking previously, I've been doing Taekwondo for the last 15 years, and sometimes it doesn't feel like, sometimes I just don't want to go to the training.
Yeah,
But then I know that when I'm gonna go, my coach is there and he's gonna push me, even though I might feel lazy or tired or whatnot. But then you get there, there's a coach and he guides you through the process. So it is extremely important to have a coach in every area of your life.
yeah, agree.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot once again, and I'm
Thank you.
definitely looking forward to having you back.
Yeah, and I love what you do. Keep being you. Keep being successful. Keep changing the world. And I'll come back anytime.
Perfect.